Okay. Welcome, everybody. This is episode 64. Drones of Sports and Entertainment Unite. I had to include those drones. Hopefully nobody's, getting scanned from the drones in New Jersey that I know. Hopefully maybe start today will tell me if he's seen drones, maybe. Or anybody else. Like I said, this is episode 64 of Chazz Says Anything. Don't know how many I got left, but I'll get into that near the end of the show. So to start every show that I do, if you like what you see or you like what you hear, or both, click the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner. And I'm going to skip one of the banners because I was supposed to have a partner who might be in class, might not be home, and if he shows up, we'll get into it. So we'll have a little talk. If not, no big deal. So start right into breaking news. Breaking news. It's 4 hours old, and I've seen some things on social media and articles and this and that. The Yankees have acquired Cody Bellinger from the Cubs. Cubs received Cody Petite, right-handed pitcher, reliever, 30 years old. And also Yankees get $5 million with Cody Bellinger, which some of it will go towards his salary. At least that's what's reported. I don't know if the Yankees and or Cubs have actually said anything yet. I haven't seen that yet, other than reports from Jeff Passan, Mark Seinfeld, and other people. According to this article from ESPN.com by Bradford Doolittle and David Schoenfeld, 2024-25 season, MLB season is rolling along. Whether it's a nine-figure agent, okay, they just pontificate as usual. Yankees acquire former NL MVP Bellinger from Cubs. I told you what it was. Their grade for this trade for the Yankees is a B. I think it's an A, and I'll say why. My opinion, and this might be the lesser of other opinions, is that Cody Bellinger should play first base. Let's be real. Let's be frank. He's a subpar to average center fielder. He's above average first baseman. What's the need? The need is first base. You have a center fielder, Jason Dominguez. Keep Jason Dominguez in center field. You're moving Judge to right. We get that. This has been fluid now for the past 2 weeks. Go out and get a left fielder. Go get a third baseman. That's all I'm saying. I have a comment. It looks like maybe start today's here. Oh, it's Bucking Blue. What's up? How you doing, man? All right. So, like I said, breaking news. Bucking Blue. If you haven't seen, maybe you have. Yankees got Cody Bellinger from the Cubs. So that's the big deal right now. Like I said, the Yankees, they have it as, he's a good player, batting when he threw a 726 home runs in 2023, 10th in the NL MVP voting. That's all swell, well, and good. Like I said about Jason Dominguez and Aaron Judge, should stay in the outfield. Christian Walker, we don't need him probably now if we're going to put Bellinger first, unless you put, if they shift it where they put Dominguez in left, Bellinger in center, then you got to go get Walker or even Carlos Santana. I don't like Santana because he's a one-year guy, but Christian Walker's at least 2-3 years. So we'll see how that goes on that route. 2 more comments. I thought your show was over. Where's start? I have no idea where start is. No, show's not over until I did say last week, mid-January, or sometime in January. So it's either mid to end of January. I'll get into that more down the road. So I'm still here, dude. I am still here. There will be notice when I'm not here. I promise you that. There will be notice. Okay. So, let me move this over to that. And let's get to my winners for my football pool. So last 2 weeks ago, week 14, I didn't get a chance to do it because I did it on a Monday. Jeff Zawitsky, his nickname is Terrorist. First place, 166 points. Second place, a 5-way tie, I believe, for second place. But Matt Velasquez had the tiebreaker exactly at 47, beating out Quidada Hearns and Jeff Blumenthal. Another comment. This is sad. I'm going to miss you. No, well, okay. Bucking Blue. I'll tell you at the end when I'm going to be on, okay? Best of luck, and you hope that your show comes back one day. Well, okay. Bucking Blue. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just leaving this podcast. I'm going on to better things. You obviously didn't see what I said last week. I'm going on to a bigger show. I'm getting a partner. I have more to talk about that at the end of the show. Okay? We'll keep it there. So let's go down to everything else. I got a lot to talk about, especially if this other guy doesn't show up. And now this week's pool. Father and son won this week. First place and second place in that order. Son and father, actually. Andrew Fuentes, first place, 268 points. Only lost the Rams-San Francisco game at 2 points. He went 15-1. Like that's good for anything, let alone a confidence pool. So congratulations, Andrew. You did a hell of a job this week. Just short of what Khadijah did a couple weeks back, going undefeated. And then Dex and Bailey, Joe Fuentes, second place, 266. Lost to his son by 2 points. Had 2 losses. He lost his 1 in Detroit and 2 with Pittsburgh. And that's it. He went 14-2. Like, he had 2 losses that most people had wins. So he could have theoretically won 16-0. So the Fuentes boys did really good this week. Angelo, that's how I know Joe and Andrew. Angelo, who I work with. You know, I'm sure he's not happy it wasn't him. Let's see where Angelo was. Oh, I keep going down and I don't see him. This isn't good. Where's Angelo? His wife is in 25th. Oh, there he is, 21st. 21st, 224 points. That's still not that bad. I'm like, share keeps going down. Sorry, guys. All right, there we go. Every once in a while, that chair is going to go down. Just be prepared. All right, so for the season, I'll give you the season right now. Season standings. Of course, it's going to go back because 4 people actually did picks. Look at that. Mike, Ralph. Okay. Sorry, I'm just seeing who's doing their picks already, which is good. Early's better. It does me well. I do my picks on Tuesday. I've been doing very well for the last 3-4 weeks. First place, LL Cool J, Larry Blumenthal, 2,726 points. 50 points back is Andrew Fuentes in second place. Third place, actually is tied for second, is Khadijah, 2676. So both Andrew and Khadijah have 2676, which are 50 points behind Larry. Fourth place, Mike Tice, 2644. Now that's the top 4. That's who plays for money at the end of the year. 5th through 9th is close to 4th place. So Mike Tice has got a lot of people sniffing in 4th place. 5th place, Paul Garner. He's got 2610. He's 34 points back. Me, I'm in 6th place. I have 2590. I'm about, do the math, 54 points behind Mike Tice. Boob Lover, which is Angelo, 2590. I'm 2590. He's 2584, so he's 6 points behind me. He's 60 points back. Jeff Blumenthal, Larry's brother, is in 8th, 2584, tied with Terrorist Jeff Zawadzki. And if I'm correct, they work with each other. They're mailmen together. So they're tied for 8th place with 2584. and that's 60 points back of fourth place. So it's a real tight race going forward for these last 3 weeks. Going to be interesting. Definitely going to be interesting. All right. So for last week, what did I do here? My pick six. So I got Minnesota. So I only lost 2 games myself. So I won Minnesota over Chicago. I won Atlanta over Vegas. What I lost, one of my 2, was I thought San Francisco on Thursday would actually beat the Rams. Did not happen. Dallas over Carolina, no problem there. Baltimore over the Giants, no problem there. And Philly over Pittsburgh, no problem there. So I went 5-1 this week. So let's talk a little bit about the Giants and that game. This was a question posed on multiple platforms. I think I at least saw this on 2 or 3 that I'm on Facebook and Threads and maybe even Instagram. I'm honestly, to that question, I'm torn because I think that if you keep them, they get the quarterback, they get the team we want and we need, and that will work for going forward in 25 and 26. They haven't had that, even though they did give Daniel Jones $40 million for 4 years. I get that. They did that. But I'm glass half full. They got reverb of what, they couldn't really let go. Minus Jones. They let go everybody else. They kept Jones because they thought he could be the guy. Didn't happen. Obviously, doesn't work. The end of the year, there is no quarterback on retainer. Both guys now, including Boyle, all free agents. Every Locke, I almost want to call him Tommy Mottola, Tommy DeVito, and Mike Boyle are all free agents. So whoever we draft, whether we draft first or second, at the moment we're second, but we could be first within the next 3 weeks. We lose the next 3 games, and Raiders only win 1 game. We're the first seed. I'll take the first seed. Give me the option to who I want, and honestly, who I want, and this could change over the next, let's see, December, January, February, March, and then April. So we got 5 months till the draft. Who I want right now, and that can change, is Cam Ward. Cam Ward, I think, has the higher ceiling. Shador, we don't know if Dion comes with Shador. Now, there was a statement that Dion made today that he's not leaving Colorado, basically. But that can change. People say things and they go back on it. He wants to stay in Colorado till he retires. I don't buy that. So let's see what happens with that. But right now I'm really going gung ho with Cam Ward out of Miami. I think he's the quarterback for the Giants' future at this moment. I also thought Bo Nix was, and let's go back a little bit. Who's the best quarterback right now? Rookie quarterback. It's the guy who was drafted 10th to Denver, Bo Nix. I said that. Just saying. Anyway. But now if you don't bring them back, the issue then becomes, who do you get to come in? And that's a wide net of people that you can possibly bring in. And do they still go for Cam Ward? Do they go for Shador? Or do they go, honestly, and I'll say this is a kind of a blessing for the Giants where they're at right now. If they were to get Travis Hunter to play with Malik Neighbors, that's still good. Go out and get a free agent quarterback. Any free agent quarterback for between $4 to $7 million. I think they do that. I think that would be a guaranteed that they do that. So I'm saying here, episode 64, we'll see what happens down the road. I'm sorry to Weather Biatch. I know Start Today knows her, at least through here. her and I kind of went. I don't want to say went at it, but we like sports wise went at it. She's on the opposite side. She wants Dable fired today. One problem with that, and I told this to Laura. There's one problem with that, is that John Mara has never, that I've ever seen and that I've ever read about since he's owned the Giants, fired a coach mid to end season. He does it at the end of the season. He's very good for that manic Monday, day after the season's over. He's done it then multiple times. Don't expect the Giants to move anywhere forward until January 6th. Plain and simple. All right, let's go to the rest of the games. So let's go to the schedule. Last week. So like I said, Thursday was the worst game. Los Angeles beating San Francisco 12-6, all field goals, all rain in Santa Clara. It was just a bad game. San Francisco didn't look good. They still don't look good. That's going to be an interesting question down the road. Dallas at Carolina on Sunday. Dallas took them to school like they were supposed to. Dallas has got a hard road the rest of the way. Plain and simple. Kansas City won and beat Cleveland 21-7. They should have destroyed them. Like, it should have been like 42-7. Patrick Mahomes went down. I think, from what I'm seeing, he's coming back. I checked my fantasy. He's not listed as injured. So, something happened. He's on the mend. Who knows? I'll talk about it, picks in the next segment. But Kansas City did something that was expected for them to do. Houston over Miami. No surprise. And Houston, Miami, I'm shocked it wasn't a more explosive offensive game. That's what I'm a little surprised at. Jets and Jacksonville went to overtime. And Jets actually won in Jacksonville. I will say this, Doug Peterson, I think you're gone. Jets come into your house and somehow actually win. Ruin their... Now they're like 7th or 8th. Oh, God forbid. They'll figure out who they want because they're probably keeping Aaron Rodgers too. Next, Washington barely, and I mean barely, beats New Orleans. That's troubling. That they went in New Orleans, and they couldn't score as much as most people thought that they would score. Giants and Baltimore, that went to. I'm a little surprised we scored 14 points. Honestly, I'm a little surprised we scored 14. Baltimore, they handled their business, 35 points. Okay, Cincinnati, Tennessee. Bengals finally have an offense. Good for the Bengals to finally have an offense. They got a win to stay in their division. Arizona, New England, one of the hardest games because I wasn't sure how good Arizona was. Arizona took New England to school 30-17. Denver, Indianapolis, another one. Like I said, Bo Nix. He's gonna be rookie of the year, hands down. Rookie of the year for Bo Nix. Denver beat Indianapolis 31-13. I think Indianapolis is having quarterback issues too. I think one of their quarterbacks I heard they got benched, something like that. One of the two games of the week: Buffalo, Detroit. Detroit was the number 1 team going into this week. Buffalo took them out of it. I think at the worst, they're 3 now. Someone put them at 4. I don't buy it. I think they're 3. I think Buffalo... Well, you know what? Maybe they are 4 if Buffalo's 3. Because I would say Philly's 1, Kansas City's 2. That's what I think. So Buffalo definitely took it to Detroit. Detroit will be there in the long run. Their defense will come back. They're not on IR forever. They're not missing the whole season. Detroit may lose another 1 or 2 in the next 3, but I think they're fine. They're going to show up in the playoffs. It's just a matter of time. Next game, Los Angeles home to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay took the Chargers to school. Little surprised it was that much of a drubbing, but Tampa Bay will play when they want to play. That's how I feel. They'll show up when they want to show up, and they did in LA. Like playing at SoFi, apparently, like everybody loves playing at SoFi. The other best game of the night, which kind of was one-sided for the most of the game. Pittsburgh couldn't do anything against Philadelphia. Battle of the what they call the Pennsylvania Bowl, since we're in bowl season. The Pennsylvania Bowl, Philly dominated for the most part, and they were still having issues. See, this is the funny thing about Philly, and I heard Colin Cowherd today say he's picking Philly to win the Super Bowl right now. I know my wife's in the other room, but I got an issue with that. My issue right now is you can't call them the best team to go to the Super Bowl if they're having internal turmoil that could affect them down the road. Yes, their players are still playing. They're doing very well. Saquon is right now probably MVP. I mean, Philly's not there without Saquon. Kills me to say that, but Philly's not there without Saquon. So there's that. Green Bay, Seattle. What happened to the 12th man? I'm 13 points for Seattle when they have a strong offense. 13 points for Seattle. Green Bay took them out. Offense, defense completely took them out. Monday night, the 2 Monday night games. Minnesota. See, these two I got right. Unfortunately, I expected there'd be way more in the second game. Minnesota beat Chicago. Chicago's not good. They're going to be top 5 in the draft again. Atlanta, Vegas. I had Atlanta. Good for a start today. Your Falcons won. Only beat Vegas 15-9. I will say this. You better show up this week, Atlanta. You're playing a crappy Giants team. Don't let Tommy DeVito or Mike Boyle beat you. Not that I'm rooting for them to lose. I expect the Giants to lose. I don't want them to lose. It hurts when they lose. But I also expect them to lose because they don't have the offense. They're running short on their defense. Special teams is nowhere near where they should be. Okay, so that was everything in Week 15. My pick 6 for this week. Denver over the Rams. Oops. Let me go. Let's go to Week 16. Actually, let's go to my picks. Let's view my picks. So, I'm not confident in Denver. Not enough, but I think they're going to win. I think Denver beats the Rams because of Bo Nix. I think Houston beats Kansas City. That's the upset. I'm very confident in Houston beating Kansas City. I just don't see enough of... And it kills me to say this because he's my quarterback, and he usually comes out in the end, but he hasn't. He's underperformed, and now even last week, of course, he really underperformed because he got hurt every single week. I got Matt Stafford just in case he was, hurt. Thankfully, Stafford was still available. I have no faith in Kansas City winning this week. Sorry to Russ Goss and anybody else who's a fan of Kansas City. Maybe you feel what I'm feeling, and maybe you feel that there is a possibility. I'm pretty more than confident. So we'll see on that. Atlanta over the Giants. It says it's a 10-point. 6 or 10. 6. It's somewhere between 6 and 10 for the spread. You know what? I can actually look. Hold on a second. Point spreads. Giants 9.5, according to Poolhost. So it's anywhere between 9 and 10 right now. If you don't beat the Giants by 2 touchdowns, and you give a bunch of people money that pick New York to lose by that much or whatever, they'll cover, or they won't cover. They'll be within 9.5. I don't know what to tell you, Atlanta. You need to show your division that you can beat a team like this. That's what you need to do. Who else do I got? I got Philly over Washington. That's going to be the game of the day. I think out of all the different games, I think that's the game of the day. It's a 1 o'clock game too. That's the funny thing. Like, theoretically, Washington wins this game. That's trouble for Philly. Even though Philly's got a pretty strong hold, that's trouble for Philly. I think Philly beats Washington in Washington, but don't count out Washington. That's going to be a tough out. It really is. And my last game, Green Bay over New Orleans on Monday night. Green Bay's been on fire. They're the top rated spread right now. I think they win that easily over 13.5. Easily by maybe 2 touchdowns if not more. Let's see any other news and notes, which this brought me pause, and I almost wasn't sure about picking Detroit. Lions coach Dan Campbell confirms that David Montgomery will miss the remainder of the season due to his MCL tear. That sucks for a team that's been hurting literally this last 4 to 6 weeks. To lose an offensive guy, that's tough. That's absolutely tough. I don't know, but hopefully, for their sake, they'll figure it out. I think David Montgomery was. They had names for these guys, Sonic and oh, I forgot Sparks. No, somebody. Their cartoon characters, video game characters, and David Montgomery was their one of 2. They have a second. He'll be used more, and I'm sure they'll have someone supplement what David Montgomery could have, what they can of David Montgomery. I don't see their offense diminishing that much. It's the defense. Can they hold? Because they gave up 48 points last week. Can they hold? Now, Chicago's not Buffalo. It's going to be a low-scoring game. Most likely it's going to be cold in Chicago. Detroit's still up 7 points on this team. So we'll see with Detroit. Next, Browns reportedly bench quarterback Jameis Winston will start Dorian Thompson-Robinson against the Bengals. Good luck, Browns. That's a 10-point difference right there, in my opinion. I don't see that happening. Being well for Dorian anyway. I don't think Jameis is the problem, but Jameis is not the solution apparently either. Okay, so that's my take on a bunch of different things for Week 16. Next. There we go. Chazz's 2025 Playoff Bracket Challenge is coming January 6th, all on Poolhost and on the Poolhost app for Google Play phones. I will go to it and show you. Let's see if I can pull it up. Pool tools. There we go. So let me present. Share screen. There we go. So when I go right here, as you can see, click in the playoff bracket. This says Chazz 2025 NFL Playoff Bracket Challenge. Ignore participants' picks entered. It hasn't started yet. It still says deadline has passed. This won't start for another 2 weeks. But I will be emailing this coming in the next week or so. That's that. No, I already did that. That should have been up here. Okay, so we'll go back to this. No. Where am I? There we are. That was weird. Okay, so the bracket challenge, like I said, it's coming January 6th. Look for my email to come out. I'm going to be emailing this. If you guys who are watching, I don't have your email or you don't have mine, chazzroyalty@gmail.com if you want to get emailed what this details are, okay? Let me get out of this. Stop screen. Okay. Next, and I hope people are here to see this. Chazz's NFL Super Bowl boxes coming in and around on Thursday, December 26th. Check your emails and subsequent social media apps: Facebook, X, Instagram, Nextdoor, Substack, Threads, TikTok. All those apps I'm on. All those apps I will put this up. Like the Super Bowl boxes, I'm only going to entertain that you email me your pick so I have a copy, or you text it to me if you have my phone number. It's the only way I'm taking it. Or I obviously in person. I'll take it in person, but you know that's a given. But that you got to be where I'm at to do it in person. You got to be at my job at Cary in Clark. You got to be at the bowling alley on Wednesday nights in Hazlitt. And those are my main two. I'm not really going to go to other places unless there's a need. Like I said, I've done it where I do it with a lot of other players from the past, where they just email it or they text it. The numbers of the boxes, 1 through 100, very simple. You give me a number. If it's open, you get the box. Payment to come. It's as simple as that. I don't do it online because I'd rather have the physical paper in front of me. It just makes more sense. More people can do it with physical paper than they do it online. I do have older clientele, if you want to call it that online is not something that they're comfortable with at all times. So, but that will be coming over the next week. Remember, today is now December 17th. And like I said down here, 14 days in 2024, Christmas is 8 days away. And then lastly, for the Poolhost, everything's on Poolhost except for the Super Bowl boxes. Chazz's 2024-2025 NCAA College Football Challenge has begun. 13 players, 15 sheets for this 2-part pool. At the moment, I'll go to it and show my pools again. I'll do one more time of presenting. Share screen. There we go. Are we sharing? There we go. I think I should do that. There we go. So, if I go down to college pool, see college pool right here. It's where, okay, I got to go up right here. See, it's clicking? Okay. Click that. 15 entered. 45 games left. Joey B's in the lead. It's early. This is what it looks like. 2 games that have started. These games keep going and going and going all the way through. Also, let's go to pool results. You can see that the pick'em is here. The playoff bracket is here. So everybody has a playoff bracket. Okay? That's pretty much how this is. Pretty simple, and it was $10. Unfortunately, I only got 13 people. I could have used a lot more. This is a very fun type pool. Only 13 people got in. So maybe next year, we'll see. I don't know how that's going to go, but next year's next year. Okay, let me get out of Poolhost. And did I want to talk about... Let's see. I don't even have it up. I did see this. This is also breaking news, actually. Michael Vick has been hired as Norfolk State's next head football coach per David Teal. I think I did have that. Breaking, no, that's different. I might not. Okay. But honestly, congratulations to Michael Vick. If you don't know what Norfolk State is, it is actually an HBCU school. HBCU is a heritage. What did Beth call it? I don't even know. It's a black school, black college, mainly black college. That there's 8 to 12 teams that are in this group of schools. Norfolk is one of them. Jackson State, famously, before Coach Deion Sanders went to Colorado, he was at Jackson State for 2 years. Now at Jackson State is somebody else. I forget who. But they're Jackson State's doing very well. They won their bowl game, if I remember correctly. So congratulations to Michael Vick. Now this happened this weekend. Heisman Trophy finalists were Dillon Gabriel, quarterback out of Oregon. Travis Hunter, Colorado. Ashton Jeanty, Boise State. Cam Ward, Miami. The winner was Travis Hunter. And honestly, I agree with that. I think I said that last week. So, you know, that a pretty damn good job that Travis Hunter's done. He's going to be somebody's really nice pick in the draft going into next year. Curious, is he going to actually, what's the word is he going to participate in Indianapolis in February? I'm pretty sure we won't see Dillon Gabriel. We won't see Cam Ward. We won't see Shedeur Sanders. I'm guessing those three are not going to participate. Now, you might see Ashton Jeanty because he's probably not going to go in the top 10 or top 15. My guess, Ashton Jeanty's about a top 20. He might even be a very late first round. And that's going to be a steal. Ashton Jeanty is going to be a great running back for at least the next 6 years. I wouldn't mind the Giants somehow trading down to the point where they can get him. Or they'd have to trade back up into the first round. If they could trade down at the first and be able to get Jeanty, I'd sign up for that. I'd sign up for any of these guys, minus Gabriel. I'm not a big fan of Gabriel. Give me Jeanty, give me Travis Hunter, give me Cam Ward, give me Shedeur Sanders. I don't care who you give me as long as that person's part of the Giants team for the next 6 years. So I think I might have talked about this last week. The different brackets for Oregon, Georgia, Boise State, and Arizona State for the playoff. Again, first round games. Clemson at Texas. When I say at Texas, I mean they're at Texas. The first round games are going to be at home fields. Tennessee is going to Ohio State. SMU going to Penn State, and Indiana staying in Indiana, but going to play in Notre Dame. So here were my bowl picks from last week. I did get the Army-Navy game wrong. That I did get wrong. I'll admit that right now. I thought Army was going to handle Navy. Navy took the Army to school. They couldn't figure them out defense to offense. That Army defense was befuddled to the Navy's offense from everything I saw. Wow. But like I said, Jackson State, Coach Prime's old team, beat up on South Carolina State 28-7. I mean, their defense is amazing. I saw that game, a couple of different interceptions. Heck of a game, I got to say. And then I did not see this game 9 o'clock, but I was right. South Alabama did beat Western Michigan 30-23. My bowl picks now for next week, or actually one going on. What time is it? 8:39. So this will start in 21 minutes. The Frisco Bowl. I have Memphis over West Virginia. On Wednesday at 5:30, the Boca Raton Bowl. That's in Boca Raton, Florida. James Madison I have over Western Kentucky. And now these are all my picks that I did in my pool, so I'm basically copying from that. The LA Bowl, 9 p.m. on Wednesday, California over UNLV. California wins that game pretty handily. New Orleans Bowl, Thursday at 7 p.m. Georgia Southern over Sam Houston. Sam Houston might give them a little bit of trouble, but I feel Georgia Southern's going to win that game. Cure Bowl, Friday at 12. So when everybody's taking half days or whatever, it's going to be Jacksonville against Ohio. I think Jacksonville State wins pretty handily. They might be by a touchdown, maybe 10 points. Lastly, because I don't know when I'm going to see you next, Gasparilla Bowl Friday at 3:30. I feel Florida's going to finally get a win. I think they went 6-6. I think they'll be better in a bowl game against Tulane, so they'll win that. Myrtle Beach Bowl on Monday at 11 a.m. Interesting time for a football game. Monday at 11 a.m. I actually won't be able to watch that. I have a doctor appointment. But UTSA, I feel, will beat Coastal Carolina. And the Potato Bowl, interestingly enough, in Idaho. So it's a 3-hour difference, or at least a 2-hour difference. And the Potato Bowl is actually being played at Boise State. So they're going to be on that blue turf. Northern Illinois should beat Fresno State, even though Fresno State's probably played on that surface before. Northern Illinois is just that much stronger. I think Northern Illinois, if I remember correctly, is a team that beat Notre Dame. So Fresno State should be no issue. Okay. Oh, I wanted to talk about this. Let's see, where's my athletic? That's that. Athletic Daily. I have a bunch of stars, but I don't think that this is it. Oh, here we go. It was a little farther down. So, apologize for that. Transfer portal, things to know. This article came out on The Athletic. Okay. So, the transfer portal has been open for a week, and there are more than 130 players who have committed to Power 4 programs. Among them are a dozen quarterbacks, including 6 of the top 9 in the Athletics quarterback tracker. The 3 best available as of Monday morning are number 3, Fernando Mendoza, formerly of California, Malik Murphy, Duke, and number 5, Kadon Salter from Liberty. We'll get to some other notable names on the market, but let's start by taking a look at some programs that are off to a good start through their first week in alphabetical order. We got Cincinnati, who's improved from 3-9 to 5-7 in their second season with Scott Satterfield, and is one of 2 schools with commitments from 2 former all-conference selections. Former Colorado State receiver and a cornerback from Coastal Carolina, and also a right tackle from Ball State. Houston, it was a rough first season for Willie Fritz. Cougars ranked 133rd nationally in scoring offense. That's not good. And 13 players have entered the portal from their school. There is, however, some good news. Cornerback Jeremiah Wilson, an 8-game starter in 2024, took his name out of the portal, and the Cougars on Thursday landing a pledge from former 5-star quarterback Connor Weigman from out of Texas A&M. They also added a couple starters, starting wide receiver, Harvey Broussard, another starting receiver from UAB, Amari Thomas, ex-New Mexico center, Mackenzie Agnello, and Texas A&M guard Matthew Wyckoff, and Oklahoma State guard Jason Brooks. It's going to be a lot. So let's see, we got Louisville, LSU, Minnesota, Oklahoma State, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Texas Tech. Other notables. Do we know any? So let's go to the quarterbacks. Let's go to that's something that obviously might be of interest. Malachi Nelson, Boise State, former 5-star quarterback and USC signee, played 3 games off the bench for the Broncos this season and is looking for his third home. He has 3 years of eligibility left, so he's leaving Boise State. Walker White, quarterback from Auburn. Top 10 quarterback in 2024 recruiting cycle and redshirted this past season. Auburn recently added Jackson Arnold out of the portal and signed a top 50 prospect, Deuce Knight. White has 4 seasons of eligibility. So these are the guys who have been redshirted, who, for whatever reason, their team has now gotten other people. That's what's going to make this interesting going forward with the transfer portal. All right, let's get out of college football. I think we've done our due diligence in that. MLB offseason for the past week. Yankees and the Cubs in the news. Well, That's obviously part from the breaking news that we had before, that the Yankees and Cubs were in the news. But why were the Cubs in the news before that? Let's go see. I think we all know why, but I'll go over it anyway. Let's see. No, that's not the one. We'll assign next. That's not the one. I want to talk about that real quick. It's not showing me what I want. Brewers actually hire Julio Bourbon as their first base coach. So that's something that's positive. New York Mets signed veteran infielder Jared Young for a year. 210 career hitter. Interesting. Blue Jays hire staff Graham Johnson, Sam Green, and Lou Iannotti to their staff. Why is Josh Allen's chest pass joins best sports plays that didn't count? Okay. Why is that in baseball? I don't know. Pirates acquire Emmanuel Valdez in trade with the Red Sox. Brian De La Cruz, 1-year contract with the Braves. A's acquire left-hander Jeffrey Springs from the Rays. This is the one I wanted to talk about. It happened obviously a couple days ago. Kyle Tucker to the Cubs. They're not going to give me an article? I guess not. It's not an article. All right. So, well, Kyle Tucker to the Cubs is very interesting. That was almost a Yankee pickup where we almost traded for him, although they wanted a lot of our prospects, including Luis Heel. And I'm kind of glad we didn't get Tucker for the. We don't need another right fielder. I mean, we're going to keep Judge in center and put him in right. It wasn't necessary. We need the third baseman. We need the first baseman. We need the left fielder. And if we got Bellinger for first base, then we got our first baseman. We keep our center fielder. We just need a left and a third. Because I'd like to put Chazz at second. That's my opinion. I want to put Chazz at second. I've said that multiple times over multiple episodes. And so we'll see. I think the Tucker thing is going to be good for them. We'll see how that pans out because the Cubs got a lot more to do. Plain and simple. I'll get to that in a minute, but I want to talk about this. Get rid of the 3 times throwing over first policy junk. I'm not sure how many people actually don't like that. I don't. Like you throw over 3 times and they get to steal a base. They get the next base. No. See, we're doing enough to slow the game or to speed the game up. We got the time limit. Okay? I think that suffice. If he wants to throw over 6 times so he doesn't get a stolen base on him, I think so be it. And it seems like managers are sick of it too. This article from December 16th, so yesterday at 7 a.m. Who was it by? It does not say. Each year at MLB's winter meetings, the spotlight is on players, the agents, and the general managers, trade buzz, blah, blah, blah. But the event is also an opportunity for the managers of all 30 teams to gather under one roof. Last week, as baseball skippers descended upon Dallas, we asked a handful of them questions about MLB's rule changes, playoff format, and the other feared opposing hitter and more. Dave Martinez was asked if it were your call, would MLB's next major rule, what would be at their major rule change? He thinks it's a golden at bat. I hope not. Ron Washington, give the pitchers all the time they need to make pitches. Yes, I agree with Ron Washington. Give all the pitchers time they need. Derek Shelton would go to some sort of challenge, something that we talked about in the strike zone. I don't like challenging the strike zone. And don't get me wrong, I get you want to challenge the umpire. That should come from above. If it's as egregious as a strike 3, and he calls it strike 3 when it's not, then before the guy goes back, if it's plain as day that it was not strike 3, he gets a buzz in his ear, reverse it, it's not strike 3. Is that so hard? I know it's a little demeaning to the umpire, but you know what? It's better than getting a grade of a D or an F if that's what they do. I don't know. A little bit of, and they're talking about this in football too. having a sky in the eye for penalties. I'm okay with that. Let's do it. You know, getting correct calls are better than the incorrect, and the question of, is it fixed? Are these guys being paid off? Is this scripted? I want the scripted word gone, honestly. There's too many people saying it. I'm done with people saying scripted. Show me evidence where it's scripted. Don't tell me, oh, I saw it on a TV commercial, because I know obviously half of those people who are saying it's scripted don't even know about that TV commercial from the Super Bowl from 3 years ago. I'm ranting, and I don't mean to, because this is not what I wanted to rant about. Anyway, so let me see if I can find Pine Sign. That was MLB.com. It might be in this. You know what? I can't find it. It was interesting burning questions, honestly. All right. So, Mets fans, the news that the Mets will retire David Wright's number 5 next summer has been in some ways a long time coming. Do you agree? I do. It's been a very long time coming. You know, I mean, the Mets need to keep players long enough so that they can have banners put up. You know, that you're lucky you got Piazza, because Piazza did well enough that he didn't do with the Dodgers and anybody else. But you got to bring in more people, because the fact that Pete Alonso could come back and eclipse Darryl Strawberry's 281 home runs as a Met in this season, if he were to come back, or even maybe next season, that's the reason I think you bring back Pete Alonso. Like, you want him to do that, and B, you want him behind Soto. You want a righty behind Soto. You want that lefty righty. Tell me another person who's that's Pete Alonso that plays first base. Maybe Walker, maybe, but that's not if he goes to the Mets and they put Bellinger in center. You know, and I did hear rumor that Pete Alonso and the Yankees are tight in discussions and negotiations. God, I hope that's wrong. I don't know if I want Alonso. I'll take him if we get him. I don't know if I want him, because we already got a DH. We got Giancarlo Stanton. We don't need 2 DHs. And this is happening too. The Giants, Blue Jays are reportedly are the top suitors for free agent for Corbin Burnes. My preference would be go to the Giants, because Burnes, if we see him 15 to 19 games, so we'll see him like 3 or 4 games as a Blue Jay pitcher, that's going to be rough for us. But I don't like my one going against another tough one. That's a rough thing. It really is. 2 comments before I go to the next one. Are you crying? You need a hug now? I'm not crying now, man. I'm not crying at all. I'm ranting. That's all I'm doing. That was a little bit of a rant before. That wasn't crying. I did cry a little bit earlier before I started. I was watching. You know what makes me cry? Watching these videos of kids who their parent is coming in from the military. That makes me cry. Nothing here does. Not even Soto leaving didn't make me cry. It made me angry. Didn't make me cry. This next thing made me question Yankee fans. 100 years from now, I'm quoting here, Aaron Boone will be labeled as the best manager of all time. He's only getting started with his legacy managerial career, going to be the Bill Belichick of baseball. I put his name there so people know who wrote this. I don't know who this guy is. I saw this on some Yankee social media group. I'm baffled by someone even thinking this, let alone actually putting it down on social media and not deleting it either. I'm going to keep it there for a second just so people can pontificate and look at the stupidity of what was written by this man. I don't like to put people down, but that is one of the most asinine things you could have said on paper or out loud. I love Aaron Boone. He's a good guy. Joe Torre's 10 times better than Aaron Boone was. Don't even... And Joe Torre was a bum before he became a Yankee manager. So things could change with Aaron Boone. He's got to make sure he doesn't get fired over the next 10 years. I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see. Yeah, that was a wow. When I saw that was a wow. Okay. So we got a little bit of wrestling to talk about. WWE Saturday Night Main Event was this past Saturday on the 14th. Matches. Sami Zayn 1-on-1 against Drew McIntyre. That went to Drew McIntyre. He completely destroyed him from what I heard. I did not see that match. Gunther defends World Heavyweight title against Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Gunther pinned Priest, if I'm correct. Kicked Balor out and Gunther won. It wasn't a bad match, honestly. Women's World Championship, Liv Morgan versus Io Sky. Well, if you've seen on your social media, Liv Morgan's still the champion. Io Sky lost. A little sad on that. I was hoping Io Sky would win it back. She did not, but Liv Morgan's still champion. It's going to go roundabout for a little bit on that. Undisputed Championship. Oh, why did I put... my predictions are still up there. That's stupid. Undisputed WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes went to war with Kevin Owens. No doubt in my mind. And Cody Rhodes won. Cody Rhodes had the championship. This is why I'm about to rant. Kevin Owens rant. Cody Rhodes injury update after Saturday night's main event. Now, it went off the air as Cody Rhodes won, and he's, talking to the crowd and overjoyed, winning. He was overjoyed that he won. It says here, the historic return of Saturday Night main event ended with Cody Rhodes retaining the title in a thrilling match, but Kevin Owens would bring an end to the night with a heinous attack on the American Nightmare after the broadcast went off the air. Before I even go further, I've heard a lot of people online state that this is staged, this is storyline. I'm good if it's storyline. I just don't feel it is. When you pile drive someone, now let's go back to what a pile driver is. It's a move that was used back in the 90s, back in the 80s, and before in wrestling moves. It got banned when CTE came about and all this head injury came about. So they don't do this anymore in wrestling. What does Kevin Owens do? He does it to Randy Orton, and then once the lights go off and the cameras go off, he does it to Cody Rhodes. Excuse me. I feel that this is real. Because why would you actually pile drive someone in the way that you did for storyline? And then Triple H's reaction. This is what the first thing I saw was Triple H's reaction to Kevin Owens on down the tarmac, about to go inside, and Triple H punches the belt out of his hands and gets into an altercation, almost physical. It was very verbal, like in each other's face. That makes it real to me. If that's real, that guy needs to be fired. Kevin Owens needs to be off the show completely. Send him to AEW. Let them deal with that Jack. I wouldn't want to deal with that as a promoter. I wouldn't. Guy who doesn't listen. Guy who you want to go to an extreme to an extent, but then you go too far. I mean, I get the whole shtick that I'm going to take them out. They're going to end their career, blah, blah, blah. But you do it in a way that doesn't look like you're doing it intentionally. I don't understand what the deal on that was. I'll go to the comments before I go to reading the rest. What happened to the weather lady and the biker? Yeah, do they have a YouTube? No, they're not. I don't know what weather lady comes on and off. She doesn't always come on, and the biker does. Bry the biker does. He actually has a bike. He talks about motorcycles. He talks. That's his. Literally the one thing he talks about. So, yeah, he does have a show, but no, Laura does not. All right, so according to WWE earlier today, it was confirmed that Cody Rhodes suffered a cervical swelling that was where he was kept overnight at the local hospital for observation. X-rays were negative for a fracture. Rhodes has been officially diagnosed with an axial compression of the cervical spine, as well as cervical strain with a spasm. The guy's going to be out for like 2 months, minimum. You're going to have to give up the title. He's not wrestling. And to say this is storyline, I'm sure as hell not buying it. I'm not. Okay, so what happened on Raw? This is kind of how I felt with what went down on Raw. Raw wasn't bad. It could have been better for Monday Night Raw. But I missed the end, which kind of sucked. Stark advances. So Zoe Stark actually advanced in the triple threat match. Good for her. Punk and Rollins actually engaged, which was an interesting brawl. Punk was trying to get him to come out from the back, and he actually came out from the stands, almost very vintage. I forgot the vintage. What Roman Reigns and the other guy. I got to take my Prevagen. I'm losing it. Braun Breaker conquers Ludwig Kaiser. No surprise there. Pure Fusion Collective attack Kairi Sane. Oh, that's Kairi Sane. And then of course the New Day. They're not as they're not liked anymore because of what they did to Big E. No surprise there. And then apparently next week, Miz is going to be fighting Dexter Lumis from the Wyatt Six. Apparently there was a showing of Dexter Lumis causing Miz physical and emotional pain. Damage Control promised Pure Fusion Collective will pay for attacking Kyrie. And then what happened at the end was expected to happen, in my opinion, because there is a movement going on. I see with this not damage control. With let me get up to it. Go to results. This group called the War Raiders captured the World Tag Team title against Finn Balor and JD McDonagh of. Why am I forgetting what their name is? Is it going to let me? Is it going to tell me? It's not. Of course not. A Judgment Day. There we go. What is now the Judgment Day is starting to split up a little bit. And I'm curious to see where that goes with Finn now losing the title. And he doesn't have a title. He has no title now. JD McDonagh, the guys just, they're not worthy of any type of, title right now, in my opinion. They're just not. Carlito's never been given a shot since he's come back. Dirty Dom is Dirty Dom. Does he deserve any shot of anything? Liv is literally the only one who can win anything. And then she's also got Raquel Rodriguez. So that's going to break up at some point, I could say. It's just bound to happen. What's Prevagen? Energy drink. Yeah. Well, I haven't bought an energy drink in a while. I should have today. I'm definitely, as you can see, my eyes. I am getting tired. I do have more work to do. Work and this is getting tough, but I'm trudging on. Like I said, I was supposed to have somebody to talk with tonight. Didn't happen. So congratulations to the War Raiders. They got the tag titles. Good for them. Let's see how long they hold on. There's a lot of people that want those tag titles. Next, obviously, again next week, not next week, next month, in 2 to 3 Mondays from now. Next, Netflix will have WWE RAW debut on their streaming platform from the Inuit Dome in LA. Okay. A little bit on to wrestling. It's still different. WWE's Becky Lynch came down today. I saw it on 2 different platforms. Announced that she's joining the cast of Star Trek Starfleet Academy. I can't wait to even find that. See where that's going to be. Obviously, it's going to be on Paramount Plus. Star Trek is pretty much a CBS Paramount vehicle, so that's going to be fun to watch. Comment. Was Start the person to talk today? No. Does he have a show? No. Start Today does not have a show. It was some guy from the Nextdoor app that saw my stuff on Nextdoor and followed me and messaged me. Unfortunately, he had class tonight, so is what it is. So Becky Lynch gonna be part of Star Trek, that's gonna be cool. Like good for her. She's another WWE person getting the acting bug. I can't wait to watch that. Oh, sorry. A buddy of mine just said that's cool. Been thinking about doing a podcast YouTube channel, but I have no clue what I'm going to talk about. I'll have to answer him back later. The guy who it was his birthday, and he actually just started. He did another movie. I'll talk about that when that movie comes out. I think it actually might be out already. I think it's on Tubi and Amazon Plus. So yeah. Anyway, backtrack. Becky Lynch on Star Trek Starfleet Academy. Can't wait. This came down the pike. The Kelseys and the Watts are starring in a Game Day by General Mills campaign inspired by the superstitions that bind fans all season. So I saw where I saw this more weirdly, because I follow GM on LinkedIn. I saw it there. The Kelseys and the Watts star in Game Day by General Mills, a new campaign inspired by the superstitions that bind fans all season. Jason, Kylie, and Donna Kelsey joined TJ and JJ Watt to reveal their favorite football traditions, featuring must-haves from Old El Paso, Lucky Charms, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Pillsbury, and more in the primetime ad spot. So expect to see this during football and other primetime spots. And here's the picture. I will do a present. Share screen. There we go. So that's what it looks like. You got the Cinnamon Toast on the left. You got the Pillsbury Doughboy in the center. And then you got the Lucky Charms on the right. You got TJ Watt on the left. You got JJ right there. That's Donna Kelsey. That's Kylie Kelsey. And that is Jason Kelsey. They're married. That's Jason's mother. And if you don't know the Watts, get to know them. Interesting people. Also and I don't see it here. Maybe I will see it. Let's see. Yep, here's the second one that I'm going to show you. Reese's Puffs Cereal and All-Star Angel Reese expand partnership with Kid Super collab. So Angel and Kid Super designed Reese Puffs Duffel Puff, a new statement bag inspired by the blending dualities of basketball and fashion and chocolate and peanut butter. That's interesting. So that's going to be happening too. I was very impressed with, these things that are actually going down the pike with General Mills. I go back and forth for myself between Kellogg's and General Mills. So it depends on the day what I want, honestly. If I do eat breakfast that morning, I actually do take something for breakfast now, Monday through Friday, because I'm trying to lose a little bit of weight. I'm trying to keep up with my wife, who's now really losing weight. I'll talk about that maybe down the road before I end this show. Um, I mean, when I say end the show, not today, but I mean end the show. Um, but yeah, so I'm taking this drink called Premier, and it's only this big, maybe a little bit bigger. I drink it every morning, and I'm not hungry the rest of up until lunch. It's great. Another comment. You'll never get my. I like that. You'll never get your hands on all Lucky Charms. Oh, I didn't answer your question with Prevagen. I apologize. Prevagen, I don't have it here. No, I don't. It's not on my desk. Prevagen is a pill to take to help the mind get back what it hasn't or lost. I tend to do that from time to time. So, all right, a couple more things before we get to birthdays. And Start Today is not here. I'm shocked he's going to miss all his birthdays that he wants to celebrate. Anyway, the Michael K. Show has ended 22 years on WEPN New York ESPN Radio. Hold on a second. So, I was a big fan of the Michael K. Show. Michael K., Don LaGreca, and Peter Rosenberg, amongst other people who were on the show over the last 22 years. There was this guy who, before Peter, his name was Joey Salvia. Really, he was a very talented guy. He moved on, and they brought in Peter. And honestly, like, I'm going to miss the show as a whole. I've missed other shows in the past. The biggest one that I still miss to this day, and I met these guys, and they're really good, cool guys. Mike and Mike in the morning, like that was the TV show that was like Mike and the Mad Dog, because Mike and the Mad Dog was radio forever. Mike and Mike were the TV morning guys that I grew up watching before Boomer did anything with anybody, on FAN and so on and so forth. Like, Mike and Mike were the guys. Well, Michael K was that guy for me. He started in 2003, and they had a small showing. They jumped different dial numbers on ESPN Radio. They've now moved to 880 AM ESPN Radio. It's hard for me to get 880 on my car for some reason, so I just use the app, the ESPN app. I listen to it. But now it's Don, it's Peter, and it's Alan Hahn. I'm assuming by January 6th they'll have a name for the show. And then Michael K is still doing his show from 1 to 3 on WEPN. My guess on that, which is more good for him, because then he can do Yankee games at night without interruption and having to leave his own show. So a 2-hour show Monday through Friday is not a bad thing, and he's by himself for the most part. So, okay. I saw this. Wasn't that? See, this, I starred a bunch of different things, and I don't see what this is. From powwows to space, here are the new stamps for 2025. I wish I could see it. I need a better way to pick. Oh, wait, here it is. Asbury Park Press. Okay. So let's read this real quick. I got my another comment, let's see. It's sad all of this is over yet. That was Start's favorite, the end of the all shows, K's and Chazz. Well, like I said, okay. I'll talk about that. Let me get to the birthdays and I'll talk about that, okay? Just give me a little bit more time. 2025 USPS stamp releases include space, Native American culture, fishing, and more. It's a 1-minute read, so give me a little bit of time. The U.S. Postal Service has announced a new series of stamps slated for release in 2025, featuring a range of cultural, scientific, and historical themes. Here is a preliminary list of stamp subjects, with more to be revealed in the coming months. A release was stated. Powwows celebrating Native American culture. This set of stamps celebrates Native American powwows, ceremonial music, dance, and attire, designed by Antonio Acala, and based on original paintings by Kuchoti Pueblo artist Mateo Romero. The stamps capture 4 powwow dancers set against colorful backgrounds. Very cool. The cosmos and the spiral galaxy. In a nod to humanity's ever-expanding exploration of space, the USPS will release a stamp featuring high-definition image of a spiral galaxy located 32 million light years from Earth, captured by NASA's James Webb Telescope. This image has helped researchers understand the formation of stars and the universe's early history. Designed by the USPS art director Greg Breeding, the stamp will be issued at the new priority mail flat rate envelope rate, pending review by the Postal Regulatory Commission. See how I can make this fun? Star Cluster. A second stamp in the USPS's space-themed collection will feature an image of a star cluster approximately 1,000 light years from Earth. This celestial scene, also captured by the James Webb Space Telescope, reveals floating brown dwarfs, objects that are too small to be stars, but larger than most planets. What I find interesting about this, I'm telling you this, you're going to see in your post office in the next 2 to 6 months. Very interesting stuff. These mysterious objects provide clues about the star formation process in low mass environments. Like the Spiral Galaxy stamp, this design was created by Greg Breeding and features an image from NASA and its international collaborators. It will be issued at the Priority Mail Express flat rate envelope rate, subject to regulatory approval. Freshwater fishing lures. These stamps showcase iconic freshwater fishing lures. Over 55 million anglers participating in the sport annually. These colorful stamps celebrate 5 lures that have become synonymous with fishing culture. The stamps feature photographs by Sarah Kramer Shields with the designs by USPS art director Greg Breeding. So in New Jersey, this is going to be big because we have a lot of people who fish freshwater and saltwater. Like, this is going to be wild. Like, I can imagine. I mean, stamps aren't, stellar or trending per se, but this is stuff you probably will deal with on an everyday basis one day or another. So it doesn't hurt to know what history or background there is. Battlefields of American Revolution. Speaking of history, marking the 250th anniversary of the start of the American Revolution. Did you know that? I didn't. I forgot. The USPS will release a pane of stamps, 15 of them, commemorating key moments in the fight of independence. The stamps feature watercolor illustrations of 5 pivotal battles scenes, along with photographs of the historic sites where these battles took place. Designed by different art director Derry Noyes, the stamp also features artwork from Greg Harlan and photographs by John Bilius, Richard Lewis, not the Richard Lewis who was a comedian, Tom Morris, Gregory J. Parker, and Kevin Stewart. USPS plans to announce additional stamp designs in the near future. For more information, visit https://about.usps.com/newsroom. Not putting that up. Just if anything pops up on my YouTube where you can actually see the words, it'll show it there. Customers also may purchase stamps and other products through the postal store by calling 844-737-7826 by mail through USA Philatelic or at select post office locations. Okay, so that's that. This makes me excited. Netflix gets okay from Eatontown to begin studio construction. They just need one more thing to do, and then they can actually start building. They're going to supposedly start building all 4 buildings within the next year to start, to go all the way through 2026. Like, I'll be on a new podcast at that point, obviously, but I can't wait to see where that goes. I really can't. Another comment from Bucking Blue. Do you collect stamps? I do not. I just thought this was a very interesting topic going forward. As us adults are, stamps are a thing that we deal with on a daily basis. Okay, so Netflix coming. It's coming closer. I can't wait. I'm not saying I'm praying for 2027, but I can't wait for 2027. Okay, this I saw and I had to talk about. I found a list of 26 of the dumbest laws in New Jersey. Comment before I do it. Maybe they'll make a Netflix snap. That's surely possible. Okay. 26 of the dumbest laws in New Jersey from Matt Ryan on 105.7 FM The Hawk. Great station to listen to, especially if you're in the Middlesex area. Let me get out of this Asbury Park Press. There we go. All right. So, Berkeley Heights. If you live in Berkeley Heights, you can't walk your cattle on the street on Sundays. Ocean City, down south. The sale of raw hamburgers is prohibited. Who eats raw hamburgers? Anyway. New Jersey. So this, when I say New Jersey, that means it's a Jersey state law. Comment, let's see. Matt Ryan was a quarterback. Yes, Matt Ryan was a quarterback. This Matt Ryan is not. Matt Ryan is a DJ, I believe, who writes for 105.7 The Hawk. Yeah, quarterback for Atlanta, if I'm correct. Okay, New Jersey. It's illegal. Oh, this is you're gonna love this. Everybody's watching right now. In New Jersey, it's illegal to frown at the police. Dead serious, it's a law. Look it up. That's one of the craziest laws I've ever heard. It's illegal to frown at the police. I can't do that. Anyway, next. Blairstown, New Jersey. You may not plant trees along the street that obscure the air. In quotes, obscure the air. Wow. New Jersey. I don't know how you fix. How do you make this a law? I don't know. In New Jersey, birds are banned from pooping on statues. How do you keep them from doing that? You don't. Ocean City, another Ocean City. Playing pinball on Sundays is prohibited. You can play Pac-Man. You can play skee-ball, but you can't play pinball. Okay. Well, this one is good. How is this a New Jersey law, period? It's in a town called Raritan. It's in Middlesex County, Raritan. It's not in Hazlitt, which has Raritan High School. It's in Raritan, New Jersey. My wife can't go to this town. Many other people I know can't go to this town because of this law. The law is all profanity is prohibited in Raritan, New Jersey. What happens if I say curse words? Do I get a summons? Do I go to jail? I need to know the answer on that one. Like, what is the damage that I do when I swear? I'd love to know. I'd love to know. Trenton. There's actually a law in Trenton that's crazy. Eating pickles on Sunday or throwing a bad pickle into the road is a no-no. Isn't throwing anything into the road a no-no? Okay. Got a couple New Jerseys in a row here. In New Jersey, you may not offer zoo animals tobacco or alcohol. That's one bad zookeeper. In New Jersey also, horses pulling a sleigh on highways must have enough bells. That's a law from 1885. Take that law off the books, please. Next. This one's just a weird one. Sea Isle City. Why are they making laws in Sea Isle City after I tell you this one? It's illegal to boil bones. What serial killer boils bones? Seriously. I was waiting for comments. I got a lot of weird ones here. Don't throw the pickle in the... Trust me, I don't throw anything in the road, dude. I've never done that. Long story short, I knew cops growing up. A lot of them. My dad was a fireman in the town I grew up in. I knew not to do any of that stuff. I did not want to deal with that. I mean, I drove in a police car when I was in the back of a police car when I was 6 or 5 years old, getting picked up at school with my friend's father, who was alive at the time. He picked us up at school in the back of the Eatontown police car. Unfortunately, he passed away a year later, but I still remember, it was one of my first memories, sitting in that police car. You know, that was pretty wild. Anyway, I'm not gonna, I won't do anything illegal, especially that. Okay, here, we're back to, we're back to New Jersey. In New Jersey, minors cannot buy, and if they buy, where are they getting the money from to begin with? Minors cannot buy handcuffs. That should just be basic. In New Jersey, citizens are prohibited to pump their own gas. That's the logical one. That might be off the books soon. Be prepared. In the next 2 to 3 years, that you're pumping your own gas. Just saying, it could be there. In New Jersey, a DUI conviction. Now, this is interesting. I don't think this is weird or dumb. I think it's interesting. A DUI conviction waives your right to have custom plates, which I do. I paid for my own this past year. I have custom plates, and I'm definitely not doing anything that stupid to I'll never do that. I'll tell you right now. Cranford, New Jersey. What's weird is this town isn't even near what this would be used for. Cranford, New Jersey. It's illegal to park your boat in the front yard. Why do you have a boat in the front yard in Cranford, New Jersey? Leave it in your dock, wherever you pay for it. Leave it in the dock. Wow. Okay. Got about 7 more. In New Jersey. It's the first time I'm using this word. It's not a curse word, but it's a dirty word. So if my kids watch, this is part of the law. Your horn may not go off while having sex in your vehicle. Thank God that's never happened to me. That is one of the strangest laws. I won't repeat that, but it is what it is. Okay, next one. Now, this has to be another old law. I knew I was getting a comment from this one. You had the horn thing happen? If we ever meet, I'll tell you what I'm thinking right now. Anyway, I'm not saying it on here. In New Jersey, children are prohibited from appearing in a circus. That had to do with child labor laws in the early 1900s. That's why that law is there. I don't think that law needs to be there anymore. In Mount Laurel, never moving to Mount Laurel on this law. Never moving to Mount Laurel. Do not get drunk and annoy others in your house. Really? Don't get drunk and annoy others in your house? Okay. No, I'm not moving to Mount Laurel. That done. That if that thought ever entered my head, it's gone. Next. In New Jersey, and this is a good one. It's illegal to drive while watching TV. Especially nowadays, where you can theoretically have in your big screen radio visual. It's possible. Trust me, I've wanted to do it, but not watch TV. Listen to it. I can listen to TV and not watch it. I can know what's going on, drive my car, and not look at that. I'm good at like that. Other people are not. This is why there's a law. Also, New Jersey, sirens are not allowed on bicycles. You can have a horn. You can have a squeaker. You cannot have a woo, 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 woo. Not on a bicycle. Also in New Jersey, you must wait at least 72 hours before getting married. So is it 72 hours from your first date? 72 hours before your first coitus? 72 hours before what? I need to know before what. Like, maybe you fill out your paperwork, then you have to wait 3 days. Maybe that's what that is. I don't know. I'm guessing that's what it is. So if I go in and I put in papers for Monday, I can't get married till Thursday. Okay, that kind of sounds right. Say it more like that. It's got to be more technical. 3 more. I think it's 3 more. I have a thing on this. Hold on a second. Oh no, 4 more. Okay. In New Jersey, it's illegal to slurp your soup. I can't imagine the number of times I've heard people in a diner do that. I've never once tried to say, I'm giving you a citizen's arrest or whatever. How is that a rule? That needs to go. Well, we have a footloose alert. Footloose alert. In Caldwell, New Jersey, no dancing on Main Avenue. But can you TikTok? Can you do a TikTok dance? It's not dancing, it's TikTok. I don't know. Anyway, I'm being funny now. Okay, and this is another New Jersey rule. I got 2 more. Another New Jersey rule. No men can knit during fishing season. Really? I'm just shocked that men are knitting. Okay? Just saying. Last one. And if you're in Newark, this is a very interesting one. I never heard of this and never thought to even go to Newark and do this. You can't buy ice cream after 6 p.m. It's illegal. Are they talking about going to a store and buying it, or they're going to a Carvel and buying it? Like, I can't go to a supermarket and buy ice cream? That's a little confusing. That took a little long, but that was fun, I think. I enjoyed that. Trust me, I have something else, but I'll probably do this next week. Oops, I dropped the pen. See this? About 80 pages of free agents. And I'll go over all this next week. Some people actually have already been, picked up by teams, and we'll talk about it. I want to talk about free agency that's gone on. And I will talk about that more next week. Okay, we got birthdays of the week. And no start today. What a damn shame. Anyway, so yesterday's birthday, Steve Grocke, bowler I used to bowl with in the league last year. Happy birthday, Steve. I think he was probably waiting for me to come on. That was one of the people that popped on. I told him I'd give him a happy birthday shout out. And Angela Turner, wife of UPS driver I used to work with. Happy birthday, Angela. Okay, today's birthdays. Stephanie Alcott. I went to the same grammar school. Happy birthday. St. Jerome's. Daniel Foley. Speaking of St. Jerome's, that's where I met him many, many a year ago. And bowling at Monmouth Lanes. So, Daniel Foley, 46 years old. Happy birthday, buddy. Know you're spending it with your kids and whatnot today. Anthony Lambiase. It is his birthday. I worked with him at Acme in Freehold. He has an interesting piece. He's an interesting piece in my life of like friend, and he introduced me to the app, the dating app, OkCupid, that where I met my wife. So to Anthony Lambiase, happy birthday. Thank you for the last 10 years I've had. Next, Tomorrow and Beyond. So Wednesday, only one that I know, and it's the Oak Man. One of my favorite basketball players of all time, Charles Oakley. His birthday on Wednesday. Thursday, Jim Thomas, a bowler from Bradley, who actually is a golf. He runs the Deal Lake Golf Club, if I remember correctly. He's one the head guy. Happy birthday, Jim. Dan McDonagh. If you're in the bowling world, this is a name you know. He used to run a bowling paper. I think he still does. But he's a lot older. He might have handed it off to somebody else. I don't know. But happy birthday to Dan. I met him a couple times. He's a very nice guy. Kevin Mahoney. Speaking of the cop that drove me home when I was 5 years old, that's Kevin's father. Unfortunately, Kevin was a baby when Mr. Mahoney died. But Kevin was 40 years old today on Thursday. Happy birthday. That's a big number, 40. I remember it. It was 8 years ago. It was a lot of fun. Laura was there. We had a big party. Laura and I and a bunch of our friends. Last party I think I've ever had. Like, big one anyway. Okay, and then last two on Friday. Quan Shu. I'll see him tomorrow. Happy birthday, Quan. You should be watching this. I put it on our page. Happy birthday. And Carol Basio. I've known her for years. I worked with her at the Acme in Marlboro and Freehold, if I remember correctly. She was my mentor. There's no doubt. She's one of definitely my few mentors I got in my life within the work process. I'm all the way at the bottom. Sorry. I'm trying to go down with this. Okay. Saturday. Lauren Salerno, 47 years old. Happy birthday, Lauren. Another bowler. I've actually known Lauren for a while. I knew Lauren through my ex-wife, Laura, who's the mother to my two boys. So Lauren I've known for good over 10, 15 years. Christina Del Vecchio, another schoolmate from, I want to say St. Jerome's, but I think maybe she was not in St. Jerome's. She might have been a cousin to my classmate, Lisa Del Vecchio. But we were friendly over the years. We're friends on Facebook. Happy birthday, Christina. Thomas Donahue, another friend of Anthony's, who we worked with at Anthony Lambiase, who I talked about before. Thomas, we all worked at the Acme together. Thomas and Anthony were the produce boys, and they were boys. At 39, I worked with them over 15 years ago. So they were definitely young men at the time. So happy birthday, Thomas. Sean Foy, another Acme guy. 3 Acme guys in one sitting. Go figure. And not only that, Thomas and Sean never worked together. So Thomas worked in the Freehold. Sean worked in Marlboro. And they're both born on the same day. I'd be curious, were they both born in the same hospital? I'm very curious on that one. I'll have to ask the two of them down the road, given they're born on the same day. So happy birthday to Sean. Big Yankee fan too. Sean is. I remember that. And the last two Sunday, Tyler Uhas, 29, one of my younger guys. I know. I bowled with his dad a couple years back. Tyler actually subbed for us in that year. So happy birthday to Tyler. And then lastly, Joe Perchner. I don't have his age, but I know he's around mine because we actually are CBA classmates. So happy birthday, Joe. All right. So since nobody was on and I was supposed to have somebody on, I'll put it up real quick. If anyone wants to join on the conversation, contact me. And this guy did. I'll show real quick. I was supposed to introduce this gentleman, Dan Mentel, sole proprietorship at Big Brother Propriety Management, LLC, owner-operator at DRM Outdoor Solutions, journeyman electrician, technician, FPR Electric, Inc. And he's also a Rumson Fairhaven alumni. He's the one who was supposed to be on, and maybe he'll be on at another time, and I'll be able to do that introduction again. He was supposed to be on because he followed me on Nextdoor, the app Nextdoor, and basically said he wanted to come on and talk sports, which was fine. I'll talk to anybody with sports on the air. Like, talking on the comments is a little different because that's basing off what your questions are. We can go back and forth in the comments, in bantering, and that's what I'll be going to. Like I said, and I'll talk about this now since you're still on, and good for you. Stay on the entire time, bro. Appreciate it. The next episode, I'm actually gearing it closer to Friday, December 27th. It'll show up when I post for it. I don't think I'm doing Monday, December 23rd. It's just too close to Christmas, and there's just too many things going on. And who knows how many people are going to watch, and that's fine. I'd rather do it on Friday. Friday the 27th at 8 p.m. Not getting my kids. It's just going to be, I'm going to talk about Christmas and everything else. So that's going to be more likely episode 65 on December 27th. Now, more on Chaz and Jim Sports. So, to my friend, Bucking Blue, I have this to say. You're not going to miss me because I'm not going anywhere. Chaz Says Anything is going somewhere. Nowhere, really. It's going to end at indefinitely. Let's use the word indefinitely. It's going to end indefinitely because I'm going to what's now going to be called Chaz and Jim Sports. Jim is a friend of mine for years. I knew him when I was a director at Monmouth County USBC, where he was the general manager at Strathmore, and we connected there. We're big sports guys. He's a big Mets fan. He's a Giants fan, so he's a Giants fan that's bottom half empty. I'm a Giants fan that's glass half full. So that's what that is. Yeah, comment. See, I'm not letting you go. It's not sad. Okay, dude, you need to understand Bucking Blue. And I unfortunately don't know who you actually physically are, and that's fine. My point is, you're not missing me. I'm just going on to something different, which you're going to be able to see me. I'm going to be talking back and forth with somebody else, and we're going to be commenting on comments from other people. Now, here's the funny thing. It's going to be a call-in show. Okay. Why do I say it's going to be a call-in show? Because as far as I see, I could be wrong on this, and this could change. It's a call-in show where people can call and talk to us while we're live. Okay? It's going to be on Twitch. It's going to stream through other places, and it might stream live other places. We might even stream live on YouTube. The thing is, like I said, it's going to be a podcast, but it's more going to be like a show, like a radio show. And that's what I'm loving about this. It's a different aspect, doing a different thing, but talking about the same thing. Like that's a connection for me. Like I'm anxious to do this. This is in essence a promotion for me, and it's a promotion for the fans. Okay. Like Bucking Blue, I don't know who you are. You're not one of my friends that I deal with on a regular basis that I'm aware of. Like I emailed 300 invitees on Facebook yesterday for our page on Facebook. 300. I got about 42. So, we're good. You can still watch me. You just got to go to Twitch or stay on YouTube and you'll see where we're at. Let's see your comments. I feel like you're crying now. I wish you the best. I'm guessing why nobody is on right now. Nobody's on because it's a Tuesday night. Tuesday night's tough. I wish the best for you. What's Twitch? You don't know. See, that's probably why you think I'm going. You don't know what Twitch is. Do you think the others that comment are going to watch? Probably. Oh, Start Today probably will. I'm curious where Start Today is. He's probably got something going on. That's my thought. Like I said, I don't even know who Start Today is. I don't actually know who you are, Bucking Blue. But what I do know is that you can find me. I said this to Start Today when I first announced it. So can I even go to, you know what? Let me see if I can go to my Facebook page. Then I can show you what it is. I can go to my Facebook page. Let's see. People who... Hold on a second. Give me 1 minute. Let me go to previous. People who actually went to my page. There we go. Okay. I'm going to do an invite again. I'm going to do another share screen. So you're going to see this, okay? You're going to see this. Window. Share. There we go. Do you see that? Chazz and Jim Sports on Facebook. I don't want to speak for everyone, but say Chazz Anything will be met. No, see, okay. Chazz is still staying. You can see. Chazz is still staying. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to a different place to do my back and forth bantering about sports. If you're on Facebook, find this. You follow this. You'll see when we're going to start. Jim is going to post a lot of it. I'm going to bounce off what Jim does. Okay? That's just what it is. So Chazz is not ending. You know, I'm what's the movie? The Chazz, as that's me, is not going anywhere. And as you can see, as I go up, future home of Chazz and Jim Sports Talk Show, broadcasting and media production company. So we're trying to make this an actual thing, bigger than even we can even imagine. That's his phone number. That's going to be the call-in number to use. And then that's our email on protonmail.com. We're on X, we're on YouTube, and soon to be on other places. So, and this is the logo. That's our logo, Chazz and Jim New York Sports Talk. I'm not going to miss you if you're going to watch me here. How can I miss you? Follow me here, and I won't miss you. I won't have to miss you. Are you not understanding what I'm saying? Bucking Blue, do you understand what I'm saying? I see you keep saying don't forget us. I'm not going to forget if you're going to be part of this show. You can be part of this show. I want you to be part of the show. I want everybody to be part of the show, especially in the New York area. You got to stop whining, bro, because I'm telling you, this is the place to go. All right? Chazz and Jim Sports. I wrote it here. Okay? It's been up for the last 10 minutes. There's no reason to forget anybody because I'm going to be just moving on and everybody can move with me. Hell, you didn't even comment about my Yankee hat, dude. I figured the Santa hat, you'd be talking about it. You didn't. Anyway. So this is the end of the show for today. I've almost gotten 2 hours. That's going to kill me. There was a lot to talk about. It's a nice hat. Yes, it is. There was a lot to talk about. I'm not going to be back until after Christmas. So, miss the hat. Yeah, I'm not having the hat after Christmas. Have a Merry Christmas, everybody. I will see you on the 28th or 27th, whatever it is. I think it's the 27th. Yeah, 27th. I have it written there. And then we'll go from there. Hopefully by the new year, I'll know a little bit more about Chazz and Jim. Chazz will be going to Twitch and hopefully, and more than likely, staying on YouTube. So if you're watching me on YouTube, you'll be able to watch me there. So don't fret. I will not be gone. I promise you that. All right? I'm out. Have a good night, guys. I'll see you in about a week. All right? Have a Merry Christmas. I'm not going to say Happy New Year because I'm going to be back for one more show. All right? We'll talk then. Have a good night.